the sky. Come on closer, baby, let the lights go out. Yeah, we fall and then we rise. No more alibis, I wanna hide now. Yeah, pull into the fire, baby, we could ride the night. Yeah, I'ma show you, or we could shine the light. Hey, lift your hands, free your mind and mind combine and float up to the higher. It's okay, it's okay. Close your eyes, baby, let me show you pure love, pure love. Come on, baby, let me get you close to pure love, pure love. Pure love, pure love. Pure love, pure love. Walk a straight line, how many fingers? An ecstasy, fragrance lingers. Yeah, and those endless conversations, and you feel it floating now. I finally got you, and I'll follow you into the fire. Baby, we could ride the night, yeah. I'ma show you, or we could shine the light, yeah. Lift your hands, free your mind and mind combine and float up to the higher. It's okay, it's okay. Close your eyes, baby, let me show you pure love, pure love. Come on, baby, let me get you close to pure love, pure love. Pure love, pure love. Pure love, pure love. Hold me up, cause you never wanna drop me, not me. Got the key, dancing to unlock me. Side to side, know their fingers don't faze me. Crazy to say, but nothing gonna stop me. You're talking, get you. I ain't playing with you. I ain't playing with you. You should say what you say. Oh, come on, get it on right on. Oh, come on, get it on. Close your eyes, baby, let me show you pure love, pure love. Come on, baby, let me get you close to pure love, pure love. Close your eyes, baby, let me show you pure love, pure love. Come on, baby, let me get you close to pure love, pure love. Show you, let me show you pure love, pure love.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful Tuesday morning. And we are...
Good afternoon to you. Yes.
I know we did a show this morning.
Lunch, brunch. I know. We've been very busy on the road today. I kind of like having 3 studios.
I got to tell you.
We got a new one, yes.
We went from the radio station on the way here. Where did we stop?
2nd Street, Deli and Bagels. And we went to go shoot our show for, would you prefer your bagels crunchy, toasted, or right fresh out of the oven? But that turned into everyone ordering lunch. So we didn't quite get to do the segment, but we're going to go back and do it. And then they sent us these delicious, Ben and Christy and Brandon and everyone from 2nd Street Deli and Bagels, these delicious cookies.
And I got to tell you, have you noticed when they started, we were one of their first customers.
Look at the size of these cookies.
They get bigger and bigger.
And they are all set for the holidays for next week. Not
Are
only
they?
for Labor Day, but for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. They are doing catering, and they know they are my go-to. And they deliver, which is even better.
Yes, and they was something missing in the bag, and they drove over here and brought these guys more stuff,
Look at these.
and more stuff, and more stuff.
And more stuff, and more stuff. Are these not spectacular?
These are kids that own this place, and they jumped in and they opened up at the height of the pandemic. I mean, you're gonna talk about having,
That whole strip because that coffee shop opened.
it was all closed, yeah.
Yeah, where's your mic?
Oh, yeah. There was a coffee shop that opened 6 months ago. I might just stop by. I forgot what it was
You
called.
can use a handheld if it's easier for you.
Long
Handheld?
story short,
Long story short, we went to this coffee shop.
right next to
I love
2nd
it.
Street Bagels and Deli, they've got all these organic
Long
toast and
story
things. Long
short.
story short, we met the owner, Belle. And
Young kid. How old do you think that girl is?
about
21?
their age.
Yeah.
21, 20. She has multiple businesses.
Probably about
She
their-
reminds me of Teenpreneur.
She's thinking lucratively.
She says when things are cheaper now to buy in, the reason we have the wine today is because you got to take advantage of things
Yep.
when they're put in your hand
Keeping your overhead low
and buying right.
and buying right, and that's what it is. 2nd Street also, it's great, tiny little tables inside. There's what, 2 and a counter, a few tables outside. But keep it low, and then do a lot of takeout, catering. People come in, they place their orders, and they go. It's a great location, right at 134 Northeast 2nd Street. So it's on the opposite side, on the south side of Meisner Park. A little strip mall there, some great stuff. There's 2nd Street. There's, long story short, Ramen Lab is in there, so you know exactly where it is. And wow, what a great little mall that is.
Now what we could do is that we could take our coffee and give them a couple of bags, and they can order Don Pablo's coffee from us.
I love this. I actually gave a bag of this to our landlord yesterday. And he was like, wow. He says, people are having a hard time harvesting the beans now in Colombia and Honduras because like anywhere else, COVID is just hitting everyone really hard. So
Oh.
the fact that we have this is a blessing in itself.
I am harvesting my beans.
You're harvesting your beans, is that what it is?
Yes.
Did you see that the EU is thinking of putting warnings on travel from U.S. over to Europe?
Already done.
They're considering,
Done.
done what?
They did the list yesterday, and guess the number one place not to visit is
England?
Puerto Rico.
What?
Puerto Rico's not part of the EU.
No, they're doing their own list going east. The United
My
States.
geography's not so good, but
The United States put out our list. Puerto Rico numero uno, do not go.
why? COVID
Puerto
is so
Rico
high there.
is so. They are going to go to even and odd numbers. So if your license plate ends in an even number, you're allowed to go out. If it ends in an odd number, you go out on odd days.
Wow.
1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8. Juji was in PO when they did this at the beginning, and it sort of worked. Sort of. Because every cop say, yo, you're supposed to be out tomorrow. Oh, I had an emergency.
Wow.
Isn't it funny how everybody always has an emergency?
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to go back to that because it is so out of hand.
I was thinking the other day, if your parents were still there, what this would be like for you and your sister.
I would have flown them out.
But they wouldn't leave. They
I don't
wouldn't leave
care.
during the hurricane. Can you imagine trying to get them out now?
Don't
Your
care.
father tied himself to a house.
I would have them sedated, flown over.
Your father chained himself to his house.
Yes.
You think he
He
would have gone
roped
on a
him.
plane?
I,
No.
if there's one thing I learned is I'm not going to
You're not
ask.
taking no for an
I'm
answer
just gonna
anymore.
do.
You want a cookie?
Wow, Slick.
What
What?
happened?
You know your black and white theology that we were talking about?
What?
Did
It's
you
just
see
white.
this tick?
It's just a white.
Did you see this cookie?
Yeah, it's a white cookie.
So a white cookie.
It's just
So
a
white
white.
cookie.
I
I
gotta
was
tell
talking
you.
about that.
And
Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, I was just
We have
talking
our
about
guest
that.
Mike Vilardi from Winning Tax Solutions in the house. And there's this whole theory I have on the black and whites and how people eat them. You got to figure there should be a science or a study
A
behind
little
it.
bit of both.
I kind of like the white better, but the black and the fudginess of it, you kind of got to get just both right.
You got to start with the white part of the cookie, and then you have to end it with the chocolate.
See, sometimes I cut it the
the
opposite
best
way,
for
so you get
last.
a little bit
Save
of
the best
both,
for last.
Thank you.
right?
I
chocolate and the white. Mike, how do you eat your black and whites?
I eat them evenly, half and half.
Half and half?
Yeah.
Isn't that sad? We always did that as a kid, man.
Half and half?
Yes. And you can never have too much of one or the
Right.
other. Had to be even Steven. That's
Yeah.
why that cookie is so successful.
It's amazing. But here's the other cookie they gave us. It's like a chocolate Linzer tart, only has the chocolate.
Chocolate what?
Linzer tart.
You know, I don't
Didn't
like
you grow
talking
up
to you about
Jewish?
food.
Did you grow up Jewish? I
You
thought you
destroy food.
Why?
What's a Linzer tart?
The Linzer tart is this, but normally it's filled with jelly and then white powdered sugar on top. So it's kind of like a chocolate fudge Linzer tart. Yeah, 100%. What did you call it?
Linzer I called
A
it a cookie. Mike, you know what a Linzer tart is?
That's the first time I heard the term.
Thank you.
Really?
Thank you. I'm not the only
And do you
one.
know what a
You guys
Linzer
knew what it
tart
was?
is?
Linzer
I
tart?
don't know.
No idea.
Nobody knows what that is.
If you know what a Linzer tart is, give us a call, 888-994-4995, Studio A, and we will get you a free bag of Brooklyn Cafe Show coffee to wash down your Linzer tart.
And she will explain to you what a Linzer tart is.
This looks going to give us a 2-shot. We're going to go over and
Yes.
talk to Mike. See what's
He's
going on
ready.
with Winning Tax Solutions.
Yes, and now to set this thing up, let's set this up because Mike is here.
Sorry, it's too dry. Oh, let me.
That's okay. No, no, leave it there. Let's set this thing up because
Set it up.
no, go back to
I'm
two.
setting it up.
Go back to two. It's okay. It's already set up.
Give Mike an applause. I'm gonna give Mike an
Give Mike an
applause.
applause.
You know, I gotta give
Give
Mike
him
an
an applause. Give him a piece of your car.
That
Winning
happened
Tax
last the other way,
Solutions,
didn't
you
it?
know,
Someone give you the keys to
No,
their
that
car.
was- no.
That was you.
No, that was me.
I
Yeah, he
remember
was
that.
giving me BMW keys. I'm like, okay, I'll take it around the block.
Can you valet my car?
Can you charcuterie board my car? Anyway, so Mike is here, and I wanted to talk to him because the government is printing money like it's never done in the history of this country.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to argue about the reason
Like
why.
fix his
Lower third.
website.
Website?
Winning.
Oh,
And he said-
winning.
Winning tax
Not-
solutions.
I mean, that is hit, but
It's
like,
not
it's
it,
not
though.
it though.
Winning.
It's not it.
Winning.
Kind of, you know.
It's a winning.
Yeah, that chain.
You know what the sad thing is?
Keep it
I
cheap.
thought it was right. So all this money, all this debt, we just passed 1.5 trillion, 3.5 trillion is on the board, is approved in certain circles. How is this money going to get paid back? Number one, obviously, the wealthier American or families in this country they're gonna start there, so they're gonna tax everybody. That's the
Yeah.
first problem. The second problem we have, and I'm gonna defer to you, is that it's gonna affect everybody because
Yes.
you know that stuff rolls downhill. They're not just gonna stop at one and say, okay, anything below that isn't gonna get taxed, is it?
Right. No.
So what do we do?
Well, this is their plan. That's why they wanted Biden in. This is a plan. That's why I wrote the book on Bible prophecy. You're watching it happening. They
Now,
want to
that
make
scares me.
They want to make America a third world country. And how do you do that? You bankrupt.
Well, I don't. Okay, hold on. I don't think they want to make it a third world country. I don't think they want to bankrupt it. But I think that what they want to do is they want to lower the steam on monies in this country. People that have it, people that don't. But my question is, the theory that they're doing is going to end up backfiring, and you're going to get rebellion.
Well, look what's happened since Biden took over. The southern border is open. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are coming in. These people have diseases. They're all impoverished. They're then giving our taxpayer dollars to them. He added more money to welfare than ever before. Like you said, they're spending and printing money like there's no tomorrow. They're then coming out with the highest tax package ever. America's going to be one of the highest tax nations in the history of the world. What does that mean? That means you and I are going to have less money to spend on goods and services. That means the baker takes in less money. That means the restaurant owner takes in less money. It makes everybody poor.
So it's
They're
the
looking at
strategies to slow things down?
Listen, they are looking at global communism. George Soros said a year and a half before the election, Donald Trump will not win. They made sure Donald Trump would not win. How did they do it? They changed the rules of engagement for the election. In every other election, your mail-in ballots had to be in by election day, unless they were military. Everybody else had to be in. So everything gets counted by election day night. What do they do here? 2 weeks later, they're still counting ballots.
Well, they're still counting balance. They're going to be counting balance for the
They're
next
still
30
counting
years.
hanging chads, so.
Yeah.
So the point is, the rules were changed to make sure that Biden was going to be your president. Joe Biden, in the 47 years he's been in office, has been known to be, let's say, not intellectual. The man graduated 76 out of 85 people in his law school class. What does that mean? If it took a minute to get your degree, he would have to wait an hour and 15 minutes. When he got his degree, less than 10 minutes later, the ceremony's over, okay?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's still got his law degree.
But Mike, listen, I graduated 85 in the class of
Yeah.
85, so.
Okay. He still got his law degree. But you know what he did? When he ran for president the first time, he copied word for word the speech of the English Prime Minister. Word for word. Got caught plagiarizing, had to drop out of the race. Second time, what did he do? He copies Robert Kennedy's speech, word for word, like it's his.
Okay, but without bashing our president.
Okay.
We don't want to bash our president because.
No, those are facts. It's not bashing.
Or
That's what
either
happened.
way, I mean, we're looking at taxes, and we've talked to our Bitcoin master about this all the time. Also, he's been on. We've talked about what
Right.
gold is doing, why people are investing in cryptocurrency.
Right.
The printing of money right now it's like just paper monopoly. And yeah, how many people from Afghanistan have now come over? How many people from so many other countries,
Right.
like you said, impoverished? They're coming over with nothing. They're lucky they're getting out with their lives right now, coming over here. What is that doing though for the taxpayers here?
It's hurting the taxpayers. We're laying out that money. We're the ones giving them aid and money. You're making Americans poor. The first thing they did to make Americans poor was raise the gas prices. They went to the Green New Deal, and gas went from $1.79 to $3. That means everybody has to pay more out of their pocket.
Everyone's paying more for gas. That is
Okay?
true.
The great equalizer?
What, as far as money?
No, just everything, like the great equalizer.
Just pick up. We have all those mics.
Oh
and
yeah,
batteries.
my bad. Yo, here's your mic.
But there's
Pass
good and
me.
there's bad.
Is there one? Yes.
When
Okay.
they wanted people to stay home at the beginning of the pandemic, they had to come up with unemployment. And then it's worked in reverse because now nobody
up,
wants to
please.
go to
That's
work.
right.
Well,
Exactly.
nobody wants to.
Because
Right.
because
have
unemployment
to
is so
put it
much
away.
better to stay home, and now so they have to put a mandate now, no more unemployment. So, in every philosophy, if it gets taken out of context, it's gonna blow up in your face. Okay, so Biden wins, he's the president.
Right.
Now you gotta hold on to the hat. So right now he ain't feeling it right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, that's
he's
funny. My bad.
he's kind of sort of wishing he didn't win right about now.
For me,
Yeah, right now,
Afghanistan
yeah.
is a huge debacle.
It was a debacle.
And I'm not political, although I guess I'm
But
opinionated.
before you go to Afghanistan, Vietnam was a debacle. Damn, right? Vietnam was a debacle because I lost a lot of brothers and sisters in Vietnam. But somebody has to pay the price. My concern here is that they are going to try to find ways of raising money. Gas is
Of
one,
course.
taxes is another,
Of course.
changing the law to confuse everybody again is going to be the third.
Correct.
And this is where you come in because this is what you do for a living. You defend people on the changes of taxes and everything else. So I want to hit on that because this great new wave is coming when all these monies are approved. And people are going to say, what do you mean I owe you X amount of dollars? Because maybe they didn't know, which I heard is no excuse, according to the IRS.
For what?
If you didn't know that there was a change in the law, or you had somebody else do it, you're still responsible
Right.
Well,
for
yeah.
your signature, which is on every tax return.
Yeah, you signed the jury.
So you need to have somebody who knows
Right.
the law.
Here's the bigger issue. They, in the budget, in Biden's budget, all the money they're spending, they're looking to double the size of the IRS. $80 billion. That means they're going to look at everybody. And even if you pay all your taxes, to go through an audit is a frickin' nightmare. It's just a nightmare to have done to you. So you're going to have a supersized IRS with super high tax rates that make everybody poor. How could you have anything other than a severe recession or depression coming in the next few years? If that's the case, you can't. And what's amazing to me is when I ran for Congress, I would always read from George Washington's speech of 1789. Are you familiar with that speech?
No.
Okay. It's a proclamation when he proclaimed Thanksgiving to be a holiday. And I'm just going to read the first paragraph so you can understand what the basis, the principles of this country was built on. Here's what George Washington said on October 3rd of 1789. Whereas it is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, to obey His will, to be grateful for His benefits, and humbly to implore His protection and favor. And whereas both houses of Congress have by their joint committee requested me to recommend to the people of the United States a day of public thanksgiving and prayer to be observed by acknowledging with grateful hearts the many signal favors of Almighty God, especially by affording them the opportunity peaceably to establish a form of government for their safety and happiness. When was the last time you ever heard Joe Biden or anybody else talk about obeying the will of God for this nation?
I think they all talk about, well, first of all, we're supposed to have a division of church and state, right?
True,
So it's
yeah.
not even supposed to be.
Nah.
When you,
Yeah.
this is George Washington's speech, and the first thing he did was acknowledge God, and he goes on and he talks about the type of people we should be. And I could read more from it,
Well,
so you could
humanity,
understand.
We should always,
Okay.
and that is what we've lost, I think, in politics along this whole way, back to whatever, pick a president
Right.
that you like or don't like. We have lost the humanity and the kindness on so many levels. And people are putting out on social media things they shouldn't be putting out on social media.
Right.
They're inciting hate, they're inciting fear.
Right.
And we've lost the humanity of
Right.
maybe what we were founded
Right.
on.
Because here's what he goes on to say. And also that we may then unite, again, talk about unity, in most humbly offering our prayers and supplication to the great Lord and ruler of nations, and beseech Him to pardon our national and other transgressions, to enable us all, whether in public or private stations, to perform our several and relative duties properly and punctually, to render our national government a blessing to all the people by constantly being a government of wise, just, and constitutional laws, discreetly and faithfully executed and obeyed, to protect and guide all sovereigns and nations, and to bless them with good government, peace, and concord, to promote the knowledge and practice of true religion and virtue, and the increase of science among them all, and generally to grant unto all mankind such a degree of temporal prosperity as He alone knows to be best.
You know, I've always said that politics, like marriages, is a business. And when Washington's day, when he wrote these things, he was under a different amount of pressures. Lincoln, another different amount of pressures. Nixon, another different amount of pressures. And I think that even Julius Caesar, even Fidel Castro, which I'll never forget, once when he took over, they told me that he said, to never take away religion from your people, because they will uprise and destroy you. Napoleon learned that as well. The problem here is that it's a business. And I get what you're saying. The problem I'm having is that religion has become a business. There are people killing one another over religion. And the last I looked, religion to me in my world was peace among all of us.
Yeah.
To live in harmony, no matter what color your skin, no matter if you're female or a male. So I think that what's happening to us as a people is that we have itemized ourselves. I deserve more. What is that thing? Entitlement?
Like,
I should
Right.
get, and again, I should get. And the issue with what's going on in our country as a whole, I'll give you an example. Afghanistan, see everybody up in arms because we left? Well, we voted the guy who says if you vote me in, I'm going to pull him out.
Yes, but you pull out the military last. I mean, that's common sense.
hold
You
on.
get all the people out
But it
first.
was
you
Trump
take
that
the equipment.
started that.
That's fine, but if Trump never would have executed the way Biden did, he would have made sure that the people got out first and all the equipment got out second, and the last thing that would have left was the military force. That's common sense.
I think that what happened was the will to fight was leaving us. The same thing happened in Nam. I think that what they should have done, because one of the generals that used to be a general, Trump got rid of him, he says, we have bases in Korea. Why couldn't we have kept the base there? You get tired of 20 years is a long time. Now, I remember the
Of
day
course.
after when we attacked Afghanistan looking for Bin Laden and all these other maniacs. Now we're going to have to deal with maniacs.
And what it's doing to women and children and oppressing
So far,
them.
nothing. So far, nothing.
Well, they say it's not going to.
Well, but the bottom line is I'm not worried about that because the Quran says that foreigners should not be on Muslim soil. I get it. I get it. Now they've accomplished that. But now we're gonna see if the problem comes again. Because I was there when 9/11 hit. I saw those buildings. I saw those planes. I thought it was a movie.
You know, they say
Damn.
Nostradamus predicted that World War III will come from.
So did this book. But it's being done from the inside. How do we get rid of the Russian Empire? We bankrupted. It was the smartest thing. Reagan and them guys were brilliant.
Right.
They bankrupt Russia. And what we have not learned in this country is that we too can be bankrupt. But nobody listens, Mike.
Well, you got a couple of issues. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think Obama said it best. He says, never underestimate Joe Biden's ability to screw things up. I mean, Obama would actually keep him out of meetings for that reason. And he told people.
That's because he ran against them.
No, he didn't run against him. Biden was his vice president.
Oh, Lord.
Okay? He was his vice president. But Joe has never been known to be a smart politician, ever. He's very stubborn as a person, and he never was smart.
But what does a smart politician look like?
Well, a smart politician looks like someone who's effective and he gets it done.
The will of the people?
Okay.
Is he there for the will of the people?
Yeah, the will of the people, for the benefit of the country. I mean, $1.79 gas helped everybody.
Yes, $1.79 looked a whole lot better.
It
It
absolutely
looked a whole
did.
lot better, but did it
Okay.
help everybody?
Yes, it did.
The consequences to more gas, more pollution, the whole green thing, I get.
Let me ask you a question, Freddie. If you got to go to Tampa, you're going to Tampa whether gas is $3.59 a gallon or $2
Or
a gallon.
$10 a gallon.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
So
matter.
you're not saving on the pollution. Here's the key if you want to, and I'm an environmentalist myself. I have my fourth car. If you go look at my car, it's a hybrid. I get 42 miles to the gallon. Helps everybody.
Damn, son.
Okay? Give people incentives. The first one I bought a Prius in 2000. Why? There was a tax incentive on
But
it.
didn't they just sign that they're going to go all to electrical cars by 2035?
Yeah, well, see, there's a problem with that too. They're having
Be able
problems.
to afford it. You guys
Right.
think you can afford an electrical car?
Right.
Oh,
They're having problems with the batteries.
The lithium-ion batteries.
They're having problems with the batteries. Fires, all
the
sorts of
batteries.
stuff.
I know, we saw, we
You
had
see the
a,
Teslas?
Yeah.
You gotta
Got
charge
fire.
them outside because they're catching on fire.
I was on Military Road, there was a Tesla that went on
Wow.
fire.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's the batteries never die.
They
They're
say
just on
don't,
key.
don't charge in your garage.
Yeah.
And
So-
if you do, pull it out as soon as it's done.
That's
Don't
right.
go to sleep with your
It's
car
a
bomb.
charging.
It's
Really?
a bomb.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a bomb.
So they're trying to kill us.
And they're not trying to kill us. They haven't gotten
gotta
up.
get it right.
They gotta get it right.
Right.
It takes
There,
time.
there was that problem already.
Describe,
with-
Josh
with,
and Mike.
with batteries.
Oh, Josh.
Yeah, because this guy's
Give him one,
pocket
give
went
him
on
one.
fire here.
No.
Dan.
That was Dan.
Dan's
yes.
smoker, what do they call
His
that?
vape caught up with fire.
His pants were on
Yeah.
fire.
No
in front of us.
Literally, I go, you're
Oh,
smoking.
too.
He looks at me, no, literally, there was smoke coming out of his
But
pants.
they didn't learn with lithium ion batteries when when Samsung came out with the Galaxy
Is your mic on,
S7.
Yeah, it's on. It's on.
Yeah, when they came out with the Galaxy S7 and the S6s and they started catching on fire. Those were lithium ion batteries that were in those phones.
Lower the game down.
And
So they should have learned from that. But
They should've.
Hey,
we're back in that same stuff with lithium ion batteries.
Yeah.
because sometimes it happens to my wallet. And
How
so
you
you
doing,
never know.
man?
You never know when a fire is going to break out.
Tell them again.
And
Do
so
that
you
one
gotta-
more time.
you gotta-
Do that one more time.
No,
You gotta
are
capture
not-
that.
You are not normal.
No, you have to be careful because you
Oh!
never know when you're going to have a fire.
Oh, that was smooth.
Okay. And
Flame out! Yeah, fantastic form.
so that's why you got to be careful when you pass these regulations. You got to have some leeway in them.
that was
Because if the technology
He did that
ain't
one time
right,
and it
all you're
scared
going
me.
to
I'm
create
like-
is a disaster. Like in New York, you know what they just did? Cuomo going out the door. Last thing he does
Wait to ask.
is says, everybody who works in the hospital, you have to be vaccinated by September 21st or you get fired.
That's true. My sister's involved.
Okay? Guess my son works in the hospital. Guess what's going to happen? The hospitals aren't going to be able to function. They're
They're
going to
gonna
lose
quit?
too many people.
I asked my sister
Well, it's
this
like the
question.
nursing homes here.
Yep. But they're getting it. They're getting the shots.
They're getting
My
it.
sister's getting the shot. You know something? It may hurt to make make you do something. It hurts a whole lot more when you got no work and you can't feed your family. Just being honest. I told my sister to be smart, play the long game, not the short game. She
Now-
said,
Now, me and my whole family got vaccinated, right? We all got COVID. shot was useless.
Yeah,
It
but
doesn't
you
stop
didn't-
it.
You didn't die.
No, I didn't die. No,
Are you
I
still
didn't.
here?
Thank God, you're still
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
But
but
the last time I heard you sounded.
no,
I'm
I
not
know it
feeling
was
so
tough.
good.
No, it was
Sound
tough.
like a cancer
It was
commercial.
definitely tough to get through.
Well,
Okay?
can you imagine if you
But-
didn't have the shot?
But it's the only vaccine ever where you're gonna get whatever you're not supposed to get.
Well, no, the flu as well. It doesn't say you're not going to get
How
the
many?
flu.
Yes.
I mean,
a lot of
They say the
people
flu
died
shot.
of the flu, and of measles, and of chickenpox.
Yeah.
Lots. In Puerto Rico, almost wiped out the island chickenpox. My mother. told
Right.
me.
Well, I was years ago. Yeah.
Polio was even worse
Yeah.
in
Wiped
Germany and stuff. I mean, listen, we don't know what we're doing with this. I'll be the first one
Right.
to tell you. The vaccine is not a sure thing for anybody.
No, it's not.
You put yourself in a room with people that are not vaccinated and have been walking around or anything else, you're probably going to get sick. It's probably going to happen. Are you going to come back to tell us the tale? I'm praying to God you do. And you're witness because you're here.
Yeah, I'm here. Right. No, I got over.
And
it.
that to
I'm
me is more important than anything else. All I want to say is give people a shot. You know, because I don't want, I didn't, can you imagine? I get the news. We lost 2 people at the radio station.
Yeah. No.
In 2 weeks.
It's terrible.
Done.
I told you that lady today.
And the lady
It's
today that we knew from the miracle. This is just bizarre, man.
Son
It
in
is.
special needs in a wheelchair. I mean, things.
It is. It is. It's a lot.
But there's so many things
It's a lot.
that happen I want to talk about. We get back from commercial break. Everyone went on unemployment, right? We kept people home
Yes.
to keep them safe.
Yes.
It was not the great equalizer. I think it caused even a greater divide of those that have and those that don't. And
Yeah.
what people did with that opportunity of bringing in money, losing their housing, not losing their housing, but now we got to get back to life. And what does that look like on the other side with taxes and audits and all these other things? So many
Well-
things to talk about.
I got a question.
All right, can you hold it till we get back from commercial break?
Wait till
Write
we
it down
come
so you don't forget it.
Oh, I won't.
Okay, give us a call. I always forget. 888-994-4995, Studio A. Give us a call. We'll be right back.
Jay Harmon exclusively in the Gallery of Boca. Jay Harmon captures the essence of really creative and captivating mind. Jay Harmon brings light into the darkness on majority of his pieces, using a negative background to highlight the details of some of his looks. I know some artists use white canvases, but he thrives on a black canvas. And here's the kicker. He only uses pencil, colored pencil, graphite pencil, and pencil for his art pieces. Yes, I know it's hard to fathom that these beautiful pieces came from pencil, but yes, they did. And the only way you can experience Jay Harmon is if you come to the Gallery of Boca. Jay Harmon, an unconventional artist with a unique story behind every canvas.
Attention Florida residents. Is constant water damage from the elements putting holes in your pipes and your wallet? We cut the cost when disaster strikes. You deserve to have your house be a home again. At Triumph, we get you paid the most for your insurance claims. Broken pipes, water damage, and mold? Triumph Consulting covers it all. Call our offices now to qualify for a free house inspection at 954-669-4935 or visit www.wegetYouPaid.com.
When your property suffers from water, mold, fire, or biohazard, you need a professional remediation company that is fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Rescue Clean 911 offer 24/7 emergency service with 1-hour response times now in your area. Water, mold, fire, biohazard. Call now 1-833-253-2699.
been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
It's like dating in slow motion.
Apologies.
He's still savoring his lunch from 2nd Street Deli and Bagels.
Yes. Mucho delicioso.
Yes, these cookies are real. Coming to you from 2nd Street Deli and Bagels. Thank you to everyone over there that delivered them after we picked up lunch. So that was really nice. They said they're all in on the CW. We're going to be putting a new show together with ION channel, ION South Florida, and the CW airing on Sunday mornings at 11 on, yes, regular real TV. Putting those segments together, and they said they would love for us to do a segment there. Maybe we do our intro over there and start our Sunday morning show from there. Be kind of cool, right? Cafe brunch. Yep, we do our intro over there. They said whatever we want.
I like it.
They were all in.
We can come in pajamas. No.
Brought to you by 2nd Street Bagels and Deli.
We gotta have the mimosas in front, cause like you know the ladies like.
You guys do the mimosas?
Mimosa, yeah.
Or some
That's
bubble
what's
tea?
That's what's hip hop there.
You guys like mimosas?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah?
Mimosa, yeah.
Josh is like, I don't think those cookies are real, but contact 2nd Street Deli and Bagels. Give them a call, 561-990-4268. They're located in East Boca, just north of Palmetto and Federal, on the south side of Meisner Park. So give them a call, check them out. They're doing holiday catering. They will do office catering, lunch, brunch, breakfast, and they've got really delicious omelets and pancakes.
That's right. And also, Steve Gubb says to listen to you because he says you know what you're doing, and you're a very intelligent man. And Steve Gubb is a very intelligent guy.
Thank you.
Very smart guy. Gubb.
Wait till Steve sees our new tiki bar set up.
Oh, yeah.
No.
We're going to have the tiki set.
You know what they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure, except
I keep
all
telling
I do
you.
is bringing my trash into our studio.
It's
It
not
becomes a
trash.
treasure.
It's not trash. I am going to post pictures of what the back radio studio is going to look
Did
like.
you like all those new cords I brought in today, too?
I don't need the cords, but the mics I
The
need.
mics are good, right?
Yeah, and the little laptops and computers and the Rectola and I'm getting a board from the radio station. It's going to look like a real deal.
Oh, good. Good afternoon, Steve Gubb. All right, we've got Mike Vilardi joining us from Winning Tax Solutions. You can also find his commercial airing on Comcast. You've got a book that's entitled...
The time of his coming, the final chapter.
And
Oh, Revelations.
My God.
Yep.
You're one scary dude, you know that, right?
Yeah, man.
Revelations, right? We're living it right now.
And we're living in it. Yep.
And Vlad had a question before we went to commercial break.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say. Like you know the whole thing about human, like you know, population control, blase, blase. I feel like if they can make seedless fruit, they can also make you infertile. All they need is the right tool.
Yeah.
Oh, both?
That tool's the vaccine.
Yeah, baby. I don't want to mess up my DNA. That's all I know. I don't want to like, you know.
Do you know that there was a published report about 3 or 4 years ago that 10 of the most richest people in the world met at the Hyatt in New York City?
Mm-hmm.
And some of the names in there you'll know. Some of the names. I don't want to bring up the names because everybody's going to argue and scream right the rate. But some famous people were there and they were talking about how do you control the population of the world?
I know what you're talking about.
But I've also seen horrific stories of pregnant women that are passing during pregnancy and losing their baby
Yeah.
and them because they have not taken the vaccine and they're getting COVID and they're dying.
But the bottom line here is the reasoning behind all this nonsense. Stop. They said that the damn thing came out of an experiment. Stop experimenting.
Right, exactly.
Wasn't Ebola the same problem?
Too many
something
people-
they
Comes
got
out of a lab, right?
Too
got
many
in the
people
lab
waking
in
up. They
Africa.
can't afford it.
I mean, I don't get this. And they want to make. Did you hear the latest? China now wants to make the superhuman soldier. So they're breeding superhuman soldiers. I mean, what is going on?
They used to breed back in the day, though.
I don't know. Last time we talked about this morning was they're stopping kids from gaming because after they made all these great games that now if you're 17 or younger, you cannot do gaming Monday through Friday during school days.
Yeah, because they decided
So
to
same
tighten it
thing.
up.
People think the ideas are great and then they happen and they're not so great anymore.
Yo, Freddie, it's kind of like what your something you said to me prior back. I think it was in the summer. when the lead, like, you know, they losing that sense of control. It's all about bringing that back. You want to feel that sense of control again. You know what I'm saying? The government just want to control the room again, baby. You know, people waking up, they're losing the control.
You know, it's funny. My father used to herd sheep.
Really?
Yeah, he was a farmer. And one day, one of the sheep went away, strayed. And I was like, Dad. And he says, relax. I go, why? He says, let it run wild, because she will come back. You will line up. And it always stuck with me what he was trying to tell me. So you can do all this nonsense, but you're going to come back to the real deal, because there is only one way that this works, and it's the right way. And we all know what the right way is. Do we do it? No. Do we know what the real deal should be? Yes. Do we do it? No. That's the problem. Now, you see, I'm in the fourth quarter of my game. It's different for me than the first quarter
You're
of
in
their
the
game.
first quarter, yeah.
And the game changes. Because as they get older, they're going to have different responsibilities for their family. And everything changes. You know, everything changes. But anyway, that's why I love doing the CW on television. I'm going to love doing that show, because that show is all about the good stuff we do. None of this politics, none of this craziness.
Because for everyone that says black, there's going to be someone else that says white. Everyone that says red, there's going to be a green. I mean, no matter what it is, there's always going to be someone on the opposite side. But at the end of the day, if you go back to being kind and humane to each other and helping each other,
Get cookies.
you know what? Cookies,
Out of
coffee,
nowhere.
and
Lemonade.
conversation. Lemonade. Actually, there's some lemonade in the refrigerator from
Oh,
Israel.
you have to drink that. Yeah.
Little vodka.
But no.
But we also, there are two things you got to do in life. When we had the attorney in last week with Wayne, you pay taxes and you die. The two things in life that are pretty much guaranteed. So let's talk about what's happening with taxes, right? So there's idle money out there that you're not taxed on. Unemployment money, are you taxed on or not?
Well, what happened was they took my idea when I ran for Congress. I said that you should not be taxed on your unemployment. And so last year they passed in the House that the first $10,000 of unemployment benefits would not be taxed. Because what was happening was people were getting unemployment and the IRS is coming, they didn't have withholding. The IRS is coming looking for the money and then they'll seize their bank account and they're unemployed. So that created a kind of a nightmare for the people that collected the money. And bad press for the government to do that, but so they fixed it by making the first 10,000 of benefits non-taxable.
And stimulus money, non-taxable.
Right, stimulus is non-taxable.
PPP, non-taxable.
As long as you fill in the right forms, you have to get you have to fill out the loan forgiveness form, and they have to approve it, because you have to show that the money was actually used for wages.
Even if it was your own wages, but you have to.
That's
prove
right.
it's
It doesn't matter if it's your wages or not. It has to be wages from the company. Right?
Very important
Right.
aspect, because I know
Yes.
people who have PPP loans,
Yes.
and they don't know the first thing about filling out the right form.
Yeah.
So then how
Well,
do you get the right form, right?
the
If
bank.
you're filing your own taxes.
no. The
you know,
bank. The bank that you get the loan from. That's
They send
that's.
you the forms.
Yes. That's you. That's no. They don't send you the forms. They'll send you.
Like a link.
They'll send you a link, and the form is actually from the SBA, and then it goes to the bank, and the bank approves it. That's how it works.
Things you have to do.
Yes,
Yes.
it's all lined up.
And that's all important. You talk about the unemployment, and I don't know if any of our crew has collected that, but you guys needed that to live on. Stimulus money, people needed to live on.
Like, whatever problems they got up in that house, it's nothing to do with me.
Right.
They affected also. You gotta
Right.
come through. You gotta do what you got. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I ain't
you
do
gotta
nothing.
eat, you gotta
Right.
take
I was
so imagine-
saving. I was doing good, and now I gotta mess up
Exactly.
because you
so
want to
imagine you
play.
having a wife and kids and trying to take care of this
Oh,
situation.
man.
3 kids,
Listen.
a mortgage,
And food.
I understand.
and your college, your kids' college.
I'm more understanding because, like, you know, I understand how it can affect. Like you said, you're in fourth quarter, I'm in first quarter, but it still affects both of us.
That's right.
So it's like, damn. Just
Yeah, but
because
the problem is that your resolution is going to carry you for another 3 quarters. And there's a big difference, because the way the problems you see today, the weight, and you're going through it, can either get worse next quarter of your life. It can become a real turnaround. This is where the mental shows that we're talking about Mondays is affecting so many people.
Everyone.
Everybody's either angry, depressed.
Yes. Right.
I mean, you can't even drive in the streets of Boca without people being angry.
But now people don't want to go back to work. So the
Right.
people that are working
oh, that's their problem.
are overworked.
Right.
But they say, and this is your generation, the millennials, because everyone's looking for the happiness quotient.
Right.
But see, the thing is, like you and Freddie, you guys are like TV parents, and like you told us, just keep positive. You gotta stay. You gotta stay. You understand? You gotta stay positive.
I would say like for like our generation, A2, our generation, like just like how we seen today, they're gonna leave work, or they're gonna leave work, either start a business or just live off unemployment or live off something else. They're not gonna stay in that same job anymore because it's not about the money anymore. Like I get it all the time when I go to my other job. They always say the same thing. I'm not appreciated. I don't like it here. I don't understand how can you do it, Gene.
Yeah, yo.
But they like once they don't see appreciation from the managers, that just demotes them from not work. It's not like they want the praise, but like I'll say, the management staff treating you like you're just a number.
It's on top of
like that.
Yo.
And it comes from like I can't say just one color. It's all colors. Everybody says the same. And the funny thing is, I'm always that middle person that they come to confide in and say, I hate it here because of such.
Charcuterie.
Man, we never talk about the we never talk about the emotional manipulation that the media plays on us. You know, a lot of these people, like we talking about, like they going through something like an inner battle that has nothing to do with the outside world, and they can't explain it at the same time. Fear of being judged. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for most people, it's like an emotional liberation thing going on the inside.
Well, fear is always.
Oh yeah, for
even
sure.
with the IRS, Mike, right?
Oh yeah.
Fear is how when somebody robs you, they ain't gonna rob you because you're feeling all warm and gushy. They're gonna put the fear into you.
Yeah.
To control you. Fear is a very big controlling aspect. Even with the IRS, you get that letter, Mike. Tell them about that letter.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, there's the IRS scares a lot of people, and rightfully so. And when you do get a letter from the IRS, it's important that you respond within the due date. If you don't, the IRS will automatically assume that they are right and have certain legal benefits. That, in other words, they'll be able to seize your assets and do certain things because you did not respond. So if you think the IRS is going to go away, you're absolutely wrong. And if you do get notified from them, you need to respond within the due date immediately.
And is it?
Or the penalties start accruing.
And is it about how you respond?
Well, it's about responding, because if you get a bill and you say, hey, wait a minute, this is wrong. Like, I'll give you an example, right? My ex-wife got a $20,000 bill from the IRS. So I told her, listen, let me handle it. Your accountant screwed up, whatever. So she did. I wrote them a letter, and they changed the bill from $20,000 to $50.99. Okay,
That's a big difference.
it's a big difference.
You wrote a
That's
letter?
right. Because what happened was, we had short sold the house, and she was living in the home, so it was her primary residence. And so the bank gives you a 1099 for the difference on the money they lost, and they said it's income to you. But there's an exception that if it's your home, okay, you don't have to pay it. So I wrote a letter explaining to the IRS that was her home, it was her primary residence, and provided them proof, and that they were wrong, and that they needed to adjust their bill. And so they changed it from the $20,000 to the $50.99.
But that don't like letters and mail get lost in the IRS like that. How do you make sure it gets to the exact person it needs to get to?
Well, see, most of your letters are coming from service centers. They're not coming from an individual. They're coming out of a service center, and they're automatically general, like ACS is the automated collection service, right? Where they'll automatically send letters just because it's in the computer that you owe the IRS money. So they're going to send you a letter saying you owe us money, now pay us. Okay. So the one thing you can do is make sure when you go to the post office that you get some sort of tracking to prove that they at least got it. Okay. As far as it goes to an individual, that's not going to happen because the service center, they're not going to put a name on it.
So get a tracking for sure.
Get a tracking for sure.
And don't lose the tracking.
Right, exactly.
Pull it out of the way.
Right. Take
Listen,
a picture of it and make sure you verify it.
You get a letter from the IRS, call when you text. Just go online.
Right.
And call this guy.
Right, exactly.
And don't overthink it. You know, people are their worst enemy.
Right. Right.
I don't know nothing. I ain't not going to pay attention.
Right.
And the fines can be bigger than the penalty.
Yeah,
Fines
the
are.
penalties can be huge.
Yep.
If you, I mean, under Obama, they doubled penalties when he was in office to raise revenue. Okay, so now if you file, let's say, your S corporation tax day late, $600 penalty. I mean, it gets substantial. If you file what's called a frivolous return, they'll hit you with a $5,000 penalty.
That's right. We need
Okay.
tax solutions. Call
That's
this
all.
guy.
Yes. Cool.
Tell him what the problem is. Because Mike will listen to all stories, tell
Yeah.
you good, bad, or indifferent. And he's going to be honest with you. He's going to tell you, you got a real problem, we got to work on this.
Yeah.
Or he's going to tell you, I can take care of this like I did with his ex-wife.
How many years should you hold back receipts?
How many years? What?
Should you hold receipts?
Well, there's a 6-year criminal statute and a 3-year civil, so at least the 6 years to cover yourself.
So we're moving. I found tax receipts, not receipts, everything from 32
Yeah,
years
no,
back.
no.
Hence the shredding company.
No.
Oh, dang.
Now, let me ask a
Yeah.
question, maybe. I know you're not an accountant, but
Well, I am, but
you know what I mean.
yeah.
Not for this particular segment, but there's a right way and a wrong way of doing your taxes, correct?
Yes.
It has to make sense to you so you can explain it.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't make sense to you, you can't explain what the hell you're doing, then 9 out of 10 times you're doing something wrong. And the IRS will let you play for a little while until they catch you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when Mike's expertise comes in. I don't know people, but right now I'm pretty sure the way the tax situation is in this country, with everything that we're going through, they're probably going to look the other way because everything was messed up. Nobody knew who was coming or going.
Well,
But then the game is going to change
Now
now.
he's saying no.
they have a system, okay? It's called the fraud detection system. And what they do is when you send in your return, it'll match your W-2 with the employer's W-2. And as long as they're the same, it'll go through. But if they're different, they'll stop it and they'll pull it to the side. And there's certain red flags. All right, and even though I know them personally because I work for them, I won't disclose them on the show. So if there's certain amounts that are too high, that'll red flag your return to get audited. So there's a system that actually will pull out the returns that have issues or don't meet certain criteria. So it's important when you file your taxes, if you have a good CPA, that you don't trigger those automatic.
Then there
Reviews.
are people that are doing it themselves.
Yes.
The easy forms and
Yeah.
probably
Well,
these
those.
kids are doing
Right.
it themselves. Taxes.
Yes. Well, if you're doing an easy form, you're not going to have to worry. You're usually a W-2 employee. You have a W-2. That's what
In
you
and
got.
out.
Simple in and out.
Right.
It's the business owner, the guy.
Right.
All of a sudden, he has a $50,000 entertainment deal,
Right.
and they cap you.
Right.
But I mean, just be honest and do what you do. I mean, the cost of doing business today has tripled.
Yes.
I gotta tell you, years ago, my parents got this IRS letter. And what that did, because I don't know how long my dad didn't answer the letter.
Oh God. Okay.
I'm not sure where the story really falls to play, but what they went through and still go through, because now everything, I think, gets red flagged.
But you should
What
have
they
them
went
call
Well, I didn't know Mike at
Mike?
the time. I
Right.
mean, it has to be
the fine
20
tune.
years ago,
But they got to
18
fine.
years
They,
ago.
they keep doing the same mistake over and over. They're gonna get flagged.
Well, if you don't respond to them, you're gonna, one, antagonize them, and two, you're basically saying you're guilty because you didn't respond.
and then you don't know what to do. Then your accountant's running
And then-
around trying to send it.
Right.
And your accountant doesn't really know the IRS.
He
like
doesn't
you
know
do.
the IRS, right? Exactly.
And you know it because you were
Yes.
also with the IRS.
22 years as a criminal
Holy
investigator.
cow.
Yep.
He was a criminal
22
investigator.
years, though.
22
Criminal
years.
investigator.
Yeah.
There's a big difference to working with them
Yeah.
and being the law enforcement to them.
How did you get involved working for the IRS? Was it something you always wanted to do?
No, my father worked for the IRS. I was an executive of Ford Motor Company, and Ford, I was working for them in the 80s. They thought the 90s there was going to be a big depression, and they wanted to pull us. I had a car, I had an expense account, and they wanted to take all that away and leave us in the office making phone calls, and I didn't want that job. So I said, wait a minute, if Ford thinks there's going to be this big depression, where's the best place to work? And
The
I
IRS.
spoke to my dad. The government. The government's the best place to work. And since he worked for the IRS, he told me about this special agent's job, and I took the test. Because, you have to go through a lot of steps. You got to take the test. And so I took the test. I passed the test. And then I got the job, and I took it because I knew that at least I was going to get paid no matter what.
Yep.
And so it was a good thing I did, because then Ford started losing a bunch of money. They had to downsize. And they went from having $9 billion cash on hand to having to mortgage everything. And I was with the government, and when George Bush came in as president, he gave us some huge raises. So I went from taking a big pay cut when I left Ford to ending up, with making over $100,000 my last 5 or 6 years there.
Wow.
So yeah, and then I retired and came to Florida, and then I went to work for a law firm, started their tax division program, and then the law firm had some financial issues. They went under, and I went out on my own and been out on my own for almost 10 years.
10 years.
Remarkable.
The number of people that he's helped.
Yeah,
And
a lot
we've
of
heard
people.
the stories. I know
Yep.
we've got their commercial to play. Slick, you got that downloaded?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, so let's take a commercial break. Take a listen to the commercial.
Winning Tax
Give
Solutions.
Mike Vilardi a call. Check out his website, winningtaxsolutions.com. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I was receiving letter after letter from the IRS.
I got Mike Vilardi on the phone and I said, Mike, I got a problem.
He took the pressure off my shoulders.
He just made me feel like I had Superman on my side.
Trust me, he's the man to go to.
IRS problems? I'm Mike Vilardi, enrolled agent. I can help. My company, Winning Tax Solutions, has always gotten our clients the best possible results. Visit us at winningtaxsolutions.com or call us today.
Looking for a place to get your ice cream fix? Look no further than Cold Stone Creamery. At Cold Stone, we make our ice cream fresh every single day in store. We have over 20 different ice cream base flavors and over 30 different mix-ins to choose from. We also have plenty of signature creations if you don't want to go ahead and choose your own. To end your creation, you can put it in one of our freshly made waffles. We have ice cream cakes, ice cream sandwiches, milkshakes, smoothies, banana splits, sundaes, and so many other things for you to come check out and enjoy. We are the official ice cream store of the Brooklyn Cafe. Hope to see you soon, and remember, it's always a great day for ice cream.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Proudly distilling out of West Palm Beach, Florida, Lost Harbor Spirits is a true treasure waiting to be discovered. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Why do you do that? Is that, do you think that's like a signature of...
It's a slick special.
Like on a sitcom, it always goes on, they clap and laugh.
It is a slick special. How was that salad?
You're still eating it.
I've had the pleasure of watching Slick enjoy that salad. He eats it, he closes it, he savors it, he opens it back up, he savors it some more. It's nice.
Never mind. It's amazing.
What do you mean it's nice? He's eating a salad.
Because he's not just inhaling it, he's enjoying it.
Hold on, open it too. Like your taxes, you shouldn't be rushing, the process Especially with that salad, you have to make sure everything's right because you'll get that red letter, or I'll get that gurgle in my stomach because I'm eating it too fast.
He's enjoying.
What is the name of the fish that cleans the size of the fish tank? What do they call that? Is it a kisser fish?
A guppy?
No, the kisser fish. You ever seen a kisser fish? A kisser fish will stick to the side of a tank and it cleans the tank. That's it. Kisser fish over here.
Me?
Catfish?
Kisser fish. Kiss. K-I-S-S fish.
That's no kisser fish.
Yeah. No, it's not a catfish. Look it up. Kisser.
In life, you have to smell the roses in life. You know?
Yeah, he's a kisser.
No, you have to
We've been
smell the
enjoying that
roses.
from Second Street Deli.
I'm telling you.
It was good. You had what, a chicken Caesar?
Chicken, something. It was crispy chicken salad
This is
and
it.
vinaigrette dressing. Amazing.
Kisser fish.
Kissing gourami.
Yeah. I used to have these.
Yep.
Those? I look like those?
That's you.
No.
And oh yeah, and what happens is they get stuck. Two of them get stuck. You know, they wear the same shirt and they get stuck.
Wow.
CH Aruteri.
Oh, wait a minute. What that meant right there? I know.
Anyway, let's get back to.
So yesterday, Slip, we were cleaning out Aaron's room, and he says to me, "That's so convoluted," and I went, "You mean convoluted?"
Oh, they must love you at home.
When I quote Slick, you know I work it.
You know, and some of the words you use. What is that kind of dough and stuff?
Linzer tart.
And what did you do there?
I took a piece of cookie. What else? What else you want to know?
Well, you might as well take that cookie off of here. Put it on the napkin over there.
Sharing cookies. Though.
Cookies
Like
are
pull
sharing
apart,
cookies.
pull apart cookies. Yeah.
If I did that, Mike, there would be hell blowing up right about now.
Have a cookie.
No.
They're nice and soft, breakable. That white one is deliciously
No,
soft
I don't
in the
want.
middle.
I don't want this because I was already informed of the black and white cookie.
What about it?
These guys over here were taking me. They took me to the woodchuck with the woodchuck check and the woodchucker.
Because I was wondering, like, you know, we have a black and white cookie, we have an all white cookie, like you guys see. I was trying to figure out, is there going to be a cookie that's just all black? That was
It's called an Oreo.
no, like an all black frosting cookie.
called
Like
an
they
Oreo.
have black and white,
You know, you
all
gotta
white.
make everything about black
They
and
ha-
white.
I'm not trying to. I'm just saying. They have a
I have
black and
never
white.
seen an
They
all
have
white.
all white. I just wanted to know if they had a all black,
Yes,
like
they
for
do.
the ones that.
If I cut this
All
cookie in
chocolate.
half, it'll be
All
all
chocolate.
black.
Wow. Not like that.
that?
I'm not like that. I was just wondering. I was just thinking out loud. Like, you know, I just thought we would have had a
They
all
had all
black.
blacks there too, by the way.
Oh, see, they
Did
do.
they?
I just didn't see them. I just
All
didn't see 'em.
chocolate.
You
just a
couldn't have
matter
seen it. You were too busy ordering.
Because
your
I was
stuff.
ranting.
of- CH
I was already
You were-
ranting.
you were
I didn't see
ordering
him.
Stuff.
What
which shall
stuff?
remain nameless.
What
You guys
was I
like
ordering?
charcuterie?
You guys like charcuterie?
I knew you were gonna look at me like, what is a charcuterie?
You know those fancy plates with cheeses and meats.
And they all now put their mics down.
Don't feel bad, cause you can't even hear him. Nobody has a mic.
Fancy cheeses and meats, like you put it on a board.
I've had that. I
Yeah,
just didn't
those.
know that's, I forgot what it was.
Vegetables, peppers, all that good
Yeah.
healthy stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
part of that
it's
too.
fancy.
Yeah, vegetables and all that.
Yeah, and you
All
show
that
like
nut.
beautiful wood
Peppers?
tray.
Yeah.
Give me a thing of peppers. We go to war.
I'm
It's
not
not
getting it for
It's a
you.
good thing. He's not
Thank
trying
you.
to
It's not for
swoon
me?
you.
Thank you.
I thought he was swooning me.
He's not swooning you.
Yes.
He's not swooning me.
Swooning
Yes.
Who's he swooning?
I think he wants some tea.
Isn't
Josh,
there
he
a
wants
play
some
of the
tea.
Great
He wants me to
Sweeney?
spill the
Sweeney
beans.
Todd?
Sweeney Todd.
He is not
Sween me.
swooning
You want me to spill the beans?
Yeah, spill it. Go ahead.
I can't spill the beans.
Yeah,
I can't spill the beans.
spill the beans. Well, on Wednesday. When you going? Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Wednesday, 10:30.
When's Wednesday?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We will all be rediscovered in the slick zone.
It'll be
Really?
But let's get back to Mike and talking about
Thank you.
winning tax solutions. Phew, what you need to do if you get that letter from the IRS, because you know you grow up thinking taxes, like taxes is like a bad word. Whether it is or it isn't, it's something you got to do, and you got to do it the right way. And for some reason, if you get stuck in a convoluted situation, got to call Mike. First phone call to you.
631-220-8088.
And what are you going to ask for? What people need? You need the letter. You need information.
Yeah, I want to know their situation.
And they go, Mike, I don't know what happened. It's just wrong. Does anyone say, Mike, yeah, I should have been audited? No.
No, I mean, being audited usually means that you did something that triggered it to the IRS. So there's something on that return that's out of whack. And sometimes it happens for legitimate reasons. Let's say you had a big heart operation and you showed that you took on your schedule a huge amount of medical expenses. Well, that might trigger the audit, but they're legitimate. You know, so just because you get audited doesn't mean that you did something wrong.
It's just a trigger.
It's just a trigger that there's an IRS computer. They have a computer set up, and it's designed to pull returns that are outside of the normal. So if you have too many expenses on your Schedule A, it'll get pulled. If you, your income looks a little funky, it'll get pulled. I mean, there's different reasons why your return might get pulled.
And do you work on a fee per account,
Yes.
or is it a
Yeah,
percentage?
depending on the service, what I have to do. No, you keep percentage would be unethical. So it's based on what I have to do. If it's an offer in compromise, if it's just representing you in an audit, if it's a collection activity, getting you some sort of payment plan, working something out with the RO. So it all depends on the amount of work that has to be done.
It's interesting, Vlad. But to your point, also, if you got to send it to the right place. You got to make sure that it doesn't get backlogged in a computer system. It doesn't get held up because then they don't get it. That's really important to make sure wherever the correspondence has to go, you send it to the correspondence the way it's supposed to be sent.
And the IRS, a lot of them still been working from home. They're not fully functional at this point in time. In certain states, like in Virginia, the governor of Virginia shut down the state, so employees can't go to the IRS building because they until the end of the year, because they did it for COVID. But it's just kind of crazy because you're shutting down your state and nobody could work. But so the IRS they're really, really backlogged because of that. Really, really backlogged.
It really,
Yeah.
So them people boiling up over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Are they currently hiring more people for the IRS?
Well, like I said, if this thing goes through with Joe Biden, his budget, they're gonna double the size of the IRS. They're gonna literally take it from 82,000 to like 160,000 employees, which I think is gonna be a nightmare for the citizens of the country. That means a lot more people are gonna be audited and looked at and harassed and aggressively gone after.
But is the machines the one that are pulling the audits and handing it over to somebody, not the other way around, isn't it?
Well, what happens is when it goes through the process, it'll get flagged, and then it'll either be there's several different types of audits. I'll explain them to you. One is called a correspondence audit. That is where the IRS, like I said, it doesn't match those W-2s, so they'll correspond with you by sending you a letter and say, look, according to our records, this is what we see. Can you send us documentation proving otherwise? Otherwise, we're going to make the following adjustment in your taxes because you're going to owe us this much money. That's a correspondence audit. Then there's what's called an office audit, where they send you a letter and say, hey, you need to come into the office. We flagged your return for audit. We want to go through and sit down with you and go through all your stuff. Okay? And then there's the audit where they come out to you. That's like what my father did. Well, field audit. Well, they'll come out. Usually that's for businesses. Like he audited one time Entelman's, the big bakery that's on Long Island. Okay, so he went and he spent a couple of weeks at Entelman's going through all their books and checking out all their stuff. So those are the three different types of audits that you can experience with the IRS. And what you have to understand is, and I just had this in a case where they audited this guy who was a chef, professional chef, and they went back, 4 or 5 years or something. They pulled it. And some of those records, he didn't know was no longer working for those employees were gone. And, they didn't give him any of the benefit of the doubt, so we had to appeal it. And now we're going to have to settle it in an offer in compromise, okay? Because you wasn't able to prove to the IRS that he had these expenses when, in fact, he did because of the time frame of it. So,
but it was 5 years ago.
Right, exactly. So sometimes you're not going to have those records, but the IRS won't always, they're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. So you have to appeal and you have to fight. And that's where I come in. I come in and I fight for you. I fight for you to make sure that you get the best possible deal because we're not going to allow them to hit him with an assessment that's not right. And so we'll settle it in the offer and compromise unit, and I'm going to say, hey, he doesn't owe this money. This is a bunch of whatever. And, we had enough evidence to prove it, but they didn't take it because they didn't have the original documents from 5 years ago. So.
Gives you the peace of mind to know that somebody's on your side fighting for you.
Right.
And you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
You're not just saying, okay, let's try it this way, you actually know.
Right,
The
I have
whole
a-
process. 22
right.
years experience is a tremendous amount of experience.
That's working for them, and then I have 10 years on the other side, and I have a very high success rate. I mean, most of my business, 90% of my business is referral business.
Hopefully they're not recurrent, right? They're
No,
just-
not referral. They tell other people. I mean,
Which is great.
like Joe, who I guess didn't make it, but I mean, I settled his. you know-
Everybody that came in here to do your commercial, some were crying when
Yeah.
they did it.
Yeah.
Everybody says you changed and saved their life.
Yes.
And I can only imagine, you get a letter
Right.
from the IRS. The first thing you do is you freak out. The second thing you do, you freak out some more.
Right.
And in the day I didn't know you, something happened to me with a letter, I would have freaked out. I mean, what do you mean?
Right.
And you call Mike, and then he calms you down, and you go through the steps, and you let him handle it. I'm gonna tell you, Winning Tax Solutions, if you don't call him, you're doing yourself a disfavor,
Yeah.
especially in this environment. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, the IRS needs money.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make it real hard for you.
Right.
All I'm saying, and why can't we get a freaking letter to that? That's the story of my life. Puts Mike on speed dial.
You just don't call it. And then if you can't afford your payments, you can just come up with some sort of payment plan, right? They just want to know that
Yes.
you've made the attempt and you're working towards it.
Right. Right. Because, I mean, there's a couple of issues. One issue is when you actually owe them the money. In other words, you sign a tax return saying, hey, I owe you the IRS money. Right? Then you're going to have to pay them because you told them you owe them money. But what that does, that gives the IRS legal rights. And those legal rights is to penalize you and hit you with interest. So a $10,000 bill can quickly double before you know it, because you went to them and said, I owe you this money. The second thing is when they make an assessment against you. Okay, when they say, well, you know what, we think you owe us more money because we're not going to accept your expenses, or we're not going to allow this or the other thing. Now, in that case, you have the right to appeal and go to appeals and appeal that assessment, and then you also have the right after that, if you don't get what you want out of appeals, to settle for an offer and compromise for less money. Okay, and that's primarily what we do. And I've had cases where people were were assessed wrongly. In one case, there was two doctors, and they were assessed about the tax itself was like $690,000, with interest and penalties was over $1 million. And on appeal, I won it, and the IRS dropped everything and reversed everything.
From $1 million?
Yes, to zero.
Well, how long did that process take?
Took years, 2 years. Wow. Took 2 years. But what had happened was I was able to prove that they were in a practice together with a third doctor, and there was a lawyer running it, and the lawyer stole the tax money.
You're kidding.
No, he stole it. And it was $843,000. And I had one of my friends who was a special agent with me trace the money, and we showed $843,000 going from this account, the doctor's account, into a company he solely owned. And then we also had other stuff that they falsified. They what do you call it? Forfeit? Forged the doctor's signature and everything. So we, the IRS could see the evidence, and they did the right thing. And so we were able to reverse that unjust assessment.
What a huge relief. Can you imagine? I mean, the pressure and the stress
Yes.
of that for 2 years, but to know at the end of it,
Yeah.
you're not looking at, you don't have to pay that $1 million.
No, it's funny. One of the doctors, they were taking 90% of his pay. So he was $2,500 a week. He was keeping $250. So I called the IRS agent, and I said, the guy was Italian, like I'm Italian. I said, Frank, I'm going to bet you my pension I know what happened here. I'm going to bet that the prior representative did everything possible to piss you the hell off and get you to go after this guy so aggressively, and that's what you did. He said, Mike, how did you know? I said, because here's what happened. That guy was hired by the attorney that actually stole the money, and I need your help to get this right. So we worked with him, and he actually helped us, and he was actually like a witness for us in the appeal. Okay.
Mike, you got a movie in you, Mike.
Yeah, right. Think
about that.
Yeah, because with this guy, the prior rep did. Frank, like the RO, would say, "Don't come unless you come make an appointment," and they'd show up randomly, And they call him in the field, Frank, you got 2 people here waiting for you. 2 people? Who do I? And he'd get pissed off, of course.
Wow.
And he'd say, listen, don't send in an offer in compromise unless it goes through me. And they sent in 3 of them. Okay. All right. So, of course, he thought it was the doctors. It wasn't. It was the representative who was hired by the attorney to make sure that they paid the tax so he could get away with the money he stole. And he actually paid that guy $100,000 to do that. Yeah, and all this came out during the case.
So did that attorney end up having to pay the money?
That attorney is being sued now for civilly, and the IRS will never tell you
what they're doing.
going to do.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You got to call Mike if you're in a situation like this, because he will, just like the commercial says, Mike will fight for your rights and your benefits. Unbelievable. Scary, right?
It is. With everything else going on, can you imagine going home and getting one of them bad boys?
You thought Bank America was bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, more with our Tasty Tuesday. If you don't get these cookies away from me, I'm going to eat them all. So we need to disperse them because they smell so. You know, willpower is only good for so long. After 2 hours of sitting in front of it, I got to tell you, not so much. 2nd Street Deli and Bagels, give them a call, 561-990-4268. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Text alert! Text alert! I was receiving letter after letter from the IRS.
I got Mike Vilardi on the phone, and I said, Mike, I got a problem.
He took the pressure off my shoulders.
He just made me feel like I had Superman on my side.
Trust me, he's the man to go to.
IRS problems? I'm Mike Vilardi, enrolled agent. I can help. My company, Winning Tax Solutions, has always gotten our clients the best possible results. Visit us at winningtaxsolutions.com or call us.
Do you need a strong cup of coffee to get you through your day? Try your very own Brooklyn Cafe Show coffee, the official coffee of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. You can pick up a bag from us, or 2. Contact us at 866-224-5422, or just stop on by. We're at 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, Suite 13. Come on in, grab a bag of our signature Brooklyn Cafe coffee. The cafe doors are always open.
Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke. If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Even though some things are far away, we plan for them ahead of time because they're important. When it comes to your celebration of life, it's really no different. You want to plan ahead now so your family doesn't have to later, and create a service that reflects your values, character, and traditions, no matter what they may be. At Dignity Memorial, we listen to every detail and make sure everyone is remembered.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would listen. It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have a platform you deserve to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 55312. That's CAFE to 55312. or call us at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
We're back.
Wait for it, so it's okay.
And we're back.
And wait for it.
Isn't it something we got to do a little bit of everything today?
That's kind of cool.
Got
I'm
to.
sitting here thinking, why am I so tired? Now I know why. And that was coffee number 3.
That was a nice coffee. You drank that whole thing?
Yes. That
Wow,
was
I've never
3.
seen you drink one of those. No, you're
That
6
was
years.
3. We didn't get to do our Gubba drink of the day,
That's okay.
but it's not over yet.
You have the Gubba donut of the day or whatever that
The
is.
Gubba cookie of the day. We've got a whole new set coming to you for Gubba rum.
Yeah, we're
Getting
only-
ready for Labor Day.
Really?
Monday. Can you believe Labor Day? Today's the last day of August.
No, I can't believe it. Wow.
I mean, tomorrow is September 1st.
Mike, they're asking me on the stream here if you have like a gift card. In other words, you're like a gift card to people who know people who are in trouble.
Or our consultation.
Something like that that you can hand out or...
I don't have a gift card.
I'm going to make you one.
I do charge. What I will do is I will sit down with somebody for an hour for $250, go through all their issues, call the IRS with them if they need me to, figure out exactly what has to be done, and give them all their options.
Well, there's a gift card.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It is fair. So birthday gift
And-
or something like that.
And most other companies are charging $700 for that. I charge $250 because I think that's fair because what they charge $700 for is they're going to pull your transcripts, say what the IRS says, and that's all they're going to do. But then they lock you in because they put that $700 towards the fee, so you don't go anywhere else. So it's kind of a way to trap you to work with them. And what a lot of those companies do, it's kind of funny because I've been on both sides of it, is they'll try and hire other enrolled agents and pay them $50 to get the transcripts and actually do the work, and they keep the difference.
What does it mean to be an enrolled agent? Because you are.
Yes.
I asked why is there an
Right.
EA? I thought I was spelling your name Vilardi,
Right,
but
right.
EA
No.
is enrolled agent on your email.
It is a license that the IRS gives you. Okay, now, what you'll notice, this is my license, is, and the reason I show this is, most of them will have limitations. I have no limitations on my license. That means I can do exam, collection, CI, anything that the IRS has, I can do. I'm not limited at all.
Wow.
Okay, now I know a guy who worked for the IRS for 35 years. He was limited to what he did at the IRS, just exam. And the reason I'm not is when I was a special agent, I would go out to all the different CPA firms and give speeches. And I had them all write me letters. So they asked what my qualification. I sent them 25 letters from all these different associations, and they gave me carte blanche. So
So you're able to get into the records.
yeah. So yeah. So I could do anything that the IRS any IRS issue might have. I'm not limited. My license is not limited. I can handle it.
Any recommendation for people not just to walk into the IRS office in their community and say,
Well, okay, first of all, you need to know when you walk into the IRS and you go to Taxpayer Service, they record everything you say. There's a sign that's telling you you're being recorded. And unless you tell them specifically to shut the recorder off, you're on tape.
And everything and anything you say is used.
Say, all right, I shut it off and not shut it off.
No, because
it's illegal. They can't use it.
Right, right. You'll then be on tape telling them to shut it off.
Yep.
And if they didn't shut it off, then they get fired. That's a fireable offense.
You know, it's interesting that communication is vital. Speaking the IRS language. I
Yes.
worked for Legal Aid in New York as an intern for NYU. And I got to sit in there, and this guy, I was the only Spanish guy in all of Legal Aid. Now, how the hell can that be, right? So I sat there because this guy, the head of Legal Aid, says, I want you to sit here, and because they bring up translators. And the translation is not what the person was saying.
Right.
So I'm writing down all the changes, and I brought it to him, and he called whoever he had to call. They wanted to hire me. I didn't want to do it. That was scary. But the translation, the language that you speak, if you don't know the language, you can get yourself in the
You don't
water.
know the nuances, right? Because
People going to jail for the wrong
it's
thing.
like paper toilet and toilet paper. It's
Absolutely.
Just so how you simplify.
That's where
it.
I got all my Freddyisms, by the way. Because people were saying things that were sort of kind of woulda, but it wasn't what the person was saying.
Right.
That's true.
And you have to know language. And this is what I love about Mike. Mike is going to tell you the truth. He's going to speak the IRS language. Nobody in here knows what that language is except
Everyone
him.
else is just scary.
That's right.
No, it makes a big difference having worked for them because you can relate to the IRS agents, where people, a CPA can, a lawyer can't. I can. I know what it's like to work there. Been there 22 years. So when I can build rapport with the IRS agents that other people can't because they don't know what they go through. And they don't know what it's like to be in that environment.
Winning Tax Solutions. Give Mike a call.
Yep.
Got a problem? Let him help you with it. If you got a letter, if you get any kind of letter.
And we'll create gift certificates if you want to buy
I kind
for
of
somebody
dig
else.
that
We
idea.
absolutely would do that. Yes, we would
Think
do that.
about that. There are people
Absolutely.
who, like you go to somebody, right? You say, listen, call this guy. First of all, the first thing that happens is, I'm guilty, I'm ashamed, I ain't calling nobody. And
Right.
they withdraw instead of doing the right thing. But if you give them the incentive, listen, it's all taken care
Right.
of.
Now I got to tell my wife what happened, and I don't want to tell my wife what because now,
It's the other
right?
thing.
You're signing on a joint account. Maybe one spouse knows what happened, the other one just you signed off as the spouse. But now you have this letter, and you have to explain to the other person, wife or husband, whatever it is, this is the situation. You got to call Mike because Mike will, he knows how to mend defenses, present it in the right way. It's the fear that we talked about. It's that fear of making that phone call, that fear of what is next to do. Now you have help and a solution.
Yeah,
It's
at least
really
you have a
important.
shot. You have a shot. That's all I'm saying. You have a shot. Mike will work with you, your husband, wife, team, whatever it is. But get the best advice because he speaks the language.
WinningTaxSolutions.com. All right, now
Yep.
we got to get into this book before we end the show because
Okay.
when I first met you, you said, "Oh, and I wrote a book." Now I'm
Right.
thinking your book's going to be called, and I said jokingly to you in my mind, "And what's the name of the book?" And
Right.
waiting for you to say, "How to solve your IRS problems" or "Winning Tax
Right.
Solutions." So I'm thinking I'm being funny, and then
Right.
you go, "Nope," and you show me your book, and I'm thinking, how do these two even coincide? Do they?
Well,
Or don't they?
no, it's a yes or no. I mean, I'll give you a little background. I was on the, I was assigned to the drug task force when I worked for the government. I got a promotion. They promoted me to a 13, put me on the drug task force in New York City, and I ended up living at my cousin's house in a basement apartment. And I had some time on my hands because I wasn't able to, I would only go home on weekends. So I had actually got all the information to write a book for my former pastor, and he never did anything with it. And I decided, why don't I do it? And I decided to pick this topic of Bible prophecy, which is very misunderstood. And I had studied it for many years. And in 2006, I came out with my first book. It got me on television. I got on TV in 2007. I initially did a show with a guy that was a producer of Christian programming in New York. He got me on TV. And I ended up with 4 television shows over 10 years. And, you know, not only would I teach on the book, but then I went into having guests on. And I had very interesting guests, like Kamal Salim, who was the number 3 guy in the PLO. He was an assassin from Muammar Gaddafi. And he was here to create cultural jihad here in America, and he was one of the ones that was orchestrating the Islamic takeover of the country. And then he got in a car accident, broke his neck, and became a Christian. And I had him on my show like 8 times. I had another guy, Zachariah Anani. Zach killed 234 people committing jihad in Lebanon. And then he became a Christian. And so I had some really unique, interesting guests as a result of having a TV show. So some of those experiences, people like that enter into this book because I got a very unique perspective on radical Islam from people who had actually went out there and committed jihad, and what they were taught and what they believe, and how they're raised and all that stuff. And so that enters into the book too. Bible prophecy is very important because, you know, Jesus said, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven," you know, the Our Father. And what we're seeing happening today is leading up to that event. That event's happening sooner rather than later. And I'm not saying it's going to be tomorrow, but it might be 15 years down the road. But certainly we see this movement to like a one world order, global communism, and we see it here in America. And that's what's truly frightening, is we had the best economic system ever, and now what are we doing? We're destroying it with crushing new taxes.
Do you think Jesus prophesied one world communism?
Well, I when you learned about the Antichrist and his coming, okay, that's what the Antichrist wants, okay? He wants to keep everybody poor, okay? And he's setting up for his coming, okay? And that's what the book is about.
Interesting.
And it takes you through the events, the biblical that are going to happen, and how it's going to happen, and how it's going to unfold. And listen, look at the people that are opposed to, that really wanted Trump out, and the reasons for it. They're all globalists.
Okay, you know the Bible far better than I do, and I'm Jewish,
Okay.
right? So I don't have the second
Right.
book that everyone
Right.
here believes in. I only know the Old Testament.
Right.
To me, as a Jewish person, Jesus didn't say we should have one world communism and we should all be.
No, that's not
taking
what Jesus
politics
wants.
aside. Well, that's what I'm saying.
But that's what the Antichrist is wants, and then he's coming before.
So I need to look to you for help on this one because I don't know.
No, I don't. I think that what he's trying to explain. Well, first of all, there's 2 sides to everything, and there's 23 books missing.
Right.
You know, 23 books were taken out of the Bible, so we don't really know what the hell he was saying. Yep. But the bottom line here, I don't care what book you're reading. The bottom line here is that we were never meant to be here to hurt one another.
Right, of course not.
No matter how you want to cut
Right.
that. So if I have to give Mike a shirt and he has to give me a pair of
Right.
shoes, then we do that.
Right.
Okay? So under communism rule, they have the sharing of the sharing. You should have shoes, you should have this shit. Okay. Not a problem. The problem is that as power rises to the top of the cream becomes a little bit greedy because man is very greedy.
Right.
It's like when Jesus tried to, when the devil tried to make a deal with Jesus in the
That's
desert.
right. You offered him all the kingdoms of the world. Exactly.
And the bottom line here is if you believe that story, then believe what it means. When Moses parted the sea, do you believe that man parted the sea? Believe the story. Don't look at the ocean separate. Believe the story. Because they always spoke in terms. I took a loaf of bread
The
and
message of
fed
what it is.
millions. Well, it's the message.
Yeah, symbolism.
If you mess up, you're going to get messed up. You either get or get got, right?
I mean, right. It's very simple. God believes in abundance for people, right? The 7 fishes. Satan believes in keeping you poor.
The good and the bad.
Okay, and that's why in every whether it be communism or socialism, they always get God out of the picture, and you need to look to the government because Satan wants you as poor as possible, poor and destitute. That's how he likes people, and he laughs because he gets them to buy into his philosophy.
Well, it's easier to be poor than it is to be rich.
Well, Stalin said it the best. Stalin one time was demonstrating to his people how it works, and he plucked the feathers of this chicken, okay, and left it, in pain, and then he took some feed, and he started feeding the chicken, and the chicken would follow him around, even though he plucked them, And he says, this is how people are.
That's
Once
right.
you understand, you could hurt them, but give them a little something and they'll follow you.
Feed them and give them their own right to pick
Right.
religion.
And that's
all you gotta do.
And that's what we're seeing done now. They're giving out, right, the unemployment benefits. People don't want to work, right? They're increasing the child care tax credit. The government is giving more, and then they're taxing more. And so they're trying to make the people that have money don't have money. And the people that don't have money are dependent on them.
The child tax credit's an interesting concept because you can opt out of it. So I'm thinking, I don't have.
Who wants to opt out
I
of
don't
it?
have kids of that age anymore, right? But you have grandchildren.
Anybody want to
sons
be
of that.
adopted?
Right.
So
What's up,
you
baby?
can, if you had kids, you can either accept the money, or you can opt out of the tax credit.
But why would you opt out? If
Because
you're
you
getting
have to pay
$300
back. I think you have to pay the money back.
I don't know. You got to pay that money back?
Well, it's that you have to pay back at the end of the year.
Correct.
What you took will be credited against what you're not going to get. That's how it works.
So right. So if they give you $300 today, if you were going to get $300 back in April,
That's right. It'll be that
you're not going to
300
get
less.
it back in April. You
That's
can't
right.
double dip.
What
It's
if they
either now
weren't
or
going to give
later.
me anything? Then I owed the $300?
Well, then you never should have gotten the credit to begin with. You never should have got a check.
Interesting.
So it was interesting that you could still opt out, and do people really know the intricacies? And I guarantee you, they don't.
Right. They
Because
don't.
that's not what's explained. It's
Right.
just, here it is. Do you want it? Everyone's going
Right.
to say, yeah, I
Yeah.
want it. Why
That's
would
exactly
I
right.
opt out?
Why would I not want
and
it?
then come April 15th or February when you're looking to get that tax money back, if you get it
Right.
back,
You're
it's
not
not
gonna
coming
get it.
back.
That's right, because you already got it.
You already got it.
Right.
Yeah.
You can only get it once.
You can only get it
Then they're
once.
going to say, nobody explained this to
And
me.
but they're right. Nobody did.
Nobody will.
Nobody explained it. And those people are 100% right. It's not that people don't know. It's just that we're not educating them to
Well,
know.
it's always
certain
lack of
things.
education. I wanted to ask Mike real quick.
Keep you in the dark.
The chicken story with Stalin is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But the only difference is that in this country, when you mess up, you're able to speak up.
Well, not
And-
so much
and
anymore.
that's happening. Well-
I mean, they're canceling Twitter accounts.
That's social media. I'm talking
I mean,
about.
social media. You're losing your voice on social media,
Well,
which I
but-
think is Facebook. Facebook has
that's a
fact
business.
checkers and
That's a
You know,
business.
I
That's
mean,
because
it's a
people
joke.
are buying horse medicine and taking it. So
You're talking about the ivermectin. Well, let me just, because I used ivermectin. Ivermectin also comes in pill form, prescribed as a doctor. Now, I got it, pills prescribed as a doctor. The topical stuff that you're talking about is stuff that you could actually rub on your body. Doesn't work nearly as well as the pills do.
But people don't know again, so they're
Right.
listening.
But that's where you have to
False
go.
information.
You have to go to your doctor to get the ivermectin prescribed. It works very well in pill form. It helped me a lot.
That is, it's the lack of educate. So people scroll through and they go, oh, let me
Right.
try this, without proper education. It's
Right.
like, would you guys produce a story without verifying your sources?
What
If
the
you do, if they're wrong, then you're in trouble.
Well, the problem is that you take stuff that somebody tells you works, and it can kill you.
Do
And
you know who did that? Actually, what we interviewed this guy a couple years ago, and he went to Facebook. He bought this ivermectin. He was so sick in ICU for like 6 weeks. I'll tell you who it is. It's a big guy. He's lost 30 pounds, sick as a dog, very healthy. Everything for him is a whole health center, and he got really sick.
and I know of a singer turned actress that you bought something from. I saw the commercial
Oh
again
my God,
last
how
night.
sick did I get?
But you know, I mean, the bottom line, stuff should have a
It's a,
warning.
I haven't seen the commercial since then, but yes.
I took something that had a black warning label on it, and I ended up in
FDA
ICU.
approved, Yep.
I FDA approved. I ended up in ICU, and they said to get his papers ready. I wasn't leaving. So I'm gonna tell you, what you don't know can hurt you a whole
Right, that's true too.
whole lot. FDA approved.
So why they approve the stuff that ain't good for our system?
Because everybody's different. There's something that works for Mike doesn't work for me. Something that works for him doesn't work for me. You sort of have to have a better background as to what you take.
Put it together that fast? I'm kidding.
But
Said you put it together that fast?
Oh, no.
no, that's a cluster. All right.
Yeah. Nice job, guys.
Yes.
We've had a lot of ins and outs. Everyone working their schedule. You know, our crew is the perfect example of what's going on right now.
I like Mike. Yeah, Mike, for sure.
You got something cooking over there. He is so. Look at him. He's so. He's so. You're too happy.
No, I was on board, so it's a very important phone
Well,
Uh-oh.
What they called you?
The charcuterie place?
The receiver or the giver? That's okay, because you know something is like they say, the truth always rises to the top.
yeah, you'll be here bright and early.
I don't need to be bright and early. It's
Yeah.
going to show up at my doorstep, just like it showed up yesterday.
Not at all.
We're going to say, Mike, thanks so much for joining us. Give Mike a call if you have
Pleasure.
any questions, any issues. Check out his website, winningtaxsolutions.com. Mike Vilardi. You know, we never do religion and politics.
Right.
Today we've done both.
But you have to because it's all intertwined.
It is all intertwined, but it's really important. Just get educated, know the facts, give Mike a call. $250 first hour. He'll go through all your options, and then you assess it and see what you need to do.
It's a nice gift, too.
Yes.
Guys, nice job on the board. WNN Jody, thanks for having us this morning. More to come tonight. We've got Jordana Foster, Ready, Set, Go Beyond tonight at 7:30. And 7 o'clock, Tell Us Your Biz. We'll be interviewing
Kim Jaffa, the famous violinist.
my sister.
Your sister.
My sister from another mister. All right, have a great afternoon, everyone. Stay safe, be kind to each other, get educated, and we'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock.
And don't be late.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can pick in every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save her. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors. Just a ray of light, bathing me in drops of ink that glaze across my body. Wish you could unfreeze my heart and we could fly.